term that challenges me and teaches me some new things.
Okay. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I'm sure they explained to you the position. I know that our titles are weird because we're nationwide, but it's basically a scheduler and payroll person. And from what I can tell, that really aligns with kind of the stuff you've done in the past.
They mentioned that there were like 2 positions?
It's a hybrid. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's also the backup to the HR.
Okay.
Yep. So the primary duties are payroll scheduling, but then if the HR person's out, you may have to step in and fill in for HR.
I'm used to like cross training and
Okay.
a lot of that. I wear a lot of hats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Okay. Can you tell me about a time that you jumped in to help or support your team?
So I've worked by myself. I've also worked with a team. Kind of like something in between, you know. Usually at my last job, I had goals I had to meet, like sales goals. And if somebody was like not competing well, I would step, next to them, help them. That way, if everyone meets the goals, we have incentives. And, sometimes not everyone is great at sales. And I did some training, helped them, gain more confidence, overcome more objections. And I was able to increase their median performance.
That's cool. Have you ever worked with a difficult coworker or supervisor?
Occasionally, there are different personality types, different generations, and sometimes, people just don't get along.
Yeah.
Luckily, in the last 10 years, I haven't worked with anyone like that, but I have worked with, like, temps. They don't last long because if you don't work well with other people, it kind of stagnates the progress and the team. I usually try to resolve conflict without going to a superior. Sometimes it's just a simple talk kind of fixes any kinks. But occasionally I've had to go to a supervisor for somebody like HIPAA violations, leaving confidential paperwork on a copier, things like that. But I always try to like go to the person, especially if they're new, and just work out any kinks or misunderstandings.
Okay. Can you describe a situation in which you worked under pressure?
While working in a medical office, I'm used to working with up to 30 doctors.
Okay.
So a typical day, I'd come in, listen to all the voicemails overnight, return calls while checking in people in person, taking calls, putting people on hold. Usually people check in at like a glut for some reason, and they want me in the back, and then I'm calling insurance, I'm on hold. I'm closing down the clinic, doing referrals, going home. So I'm used to wearing a lot of hats, and for some reason people want all of me at one time. And I have to transition very quickly, be professional, don't take things personally, because when people are in pain or they're confused, sometimes they they can get a little bit tense.
Can you give me an example of a time you went above and beyond in your role?
So at my last job, I had a patient who started to have an issue while they were working with me through treatment plans. So I had them like lay down with a pillow, got them some food. Turned out they were having like a diabetic blood pressure issue.
Okay.
I did, call the EMTs, get them comfortable, get them, where they needed to go, called someone who could meet them wherever they were going, obviously the hospital. And I just worked with another employee to help the person while not, terrifying the people next to them who really need treatment.
Yep.
These things happen, but every day is an adventure.
So you talked about this a little bit, but can you give me an example of when you had multiple competing priorities, and how did you prioritize yourself to ensure everything was done on time?
So